All right, we are back. This is the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm Joel Cheeseman. He's Chad Sowash, and we are here with Allyn Bailey, Senior Director of Comms at SmartRecruiters. You've always been a big picture thinker, and I'm curious your thoughts on who's embracing the technology, who's a little bit more timid around it, whether that's small versus big parts of the world that are sort of embracing it more than others, businesses maybe that are embracing it more than others.
Industries,
What are you
yeah.
seeing from sort of a macro perspective on the adoption of AI?
It's a great question. I think there are two things that I think are unique in this AI adoption space. I think whether it is regions, countries, companies, or kind of just groups, right, that are most likely to leverage AI today, they are the spaces where they have less governance and traditional processes
Mhm.
that are embedded so deeply. We see that even just in the evolution of AI in general.
Mhm.
The best AI evolutions right now, from an AI export perspective, are coming from countries and spaces most of us aren't even paying attention to. The work going on in Kenya, fascinating. The work they're doing, in some of the former Eastern European countries, huge,
yeah,
right?
Estonia.
So that also translates to who do we see in terms of customers and potential customers who are raising their hand and saying, I'm willing to try it.
Right.
Let me figure out how to do this. They're the people who have less repetitive process they have used for long periods of time that they have to break before they do something new.
Mhm.
Because the thing that we're not always talking about yet is the tech is cool, but the tech isn't going to work on your old processes and with your old roles and with your old systems. And so if I don't have a lot of technical debt or process debt to navigate,
Mhm.
it's easier for me to adopt. The other big adopters, interestingly enough, they're not my TA and CHRO teams, right? It is mandates coming from CEOs, CFOs, CTOs. And the challenge there is they don't always know what's possible and what isn't possible. They just want it to happen.
Is this productivity and efficiency? Is that mainly key?
Productivity, efficiency, and modernization. I would
Gotcha.
say modernization of their businesses
Gotcha.
and a belief system, because I don't want to say it's hype. They are listening to
Oh, yeah.
the entire world out there telling them
Mhm.
that business is changing. You need to be on this new technology bandwagon. You need
Right.
to understand and have AI operating within your company. AI first companies are going to be the ones that win.
Mhm.
And so they are telling all of their kind of leadership on down the path, go make that happen.
Right.
Right. And there's a challenge there. Not all of those business areas are ready to go.
So when it comes to being able to AI your process, you're not going to go from start to finish, right? So for companies, especially that have been piloting that you've been talking about, they're probably going to pilot a chunk, a task, a specific task that takes a lot of time, and it demonstrates to the C-suite, hey, look, we're making big progress, but we've only done this, right? What is that task that you guys are seeing right now for these teams?
You know what it is?
It's got to be something boring.
Scheduling.
Yes.
Scheduling, which by the way drives me crazy because I'm like, is this seriously the biggest problem we have? But honestly, it is the thing that people get most excited about solving because it takes
Because it
time.
sucks.
It sucks. It is horribly complicated. I got too many calendars, etc. And I think this is a great example of approaching the problem differently.
Uh-huh.
So scheduling is the issue. And for most people, it is because it is an efficiency problem. It's complicated and it's hard to do just to get calendars to mesh up
Yeah.
and et cetera,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We actually took a second lens onto it and said, but okay, let's assume I can solve that because theoretically we can, and we're already solving that, right? What then becomes the next root problem? The next root problem that AI actually helps us solve is who should be interviewing? How do I determine based on the role that I'm leveraging or looking for, or based on the type of individuals that I'm looking to interview? And maybe that differs for each role depending on the applicant, et cetera, who the best person is to pull into that interview cycle. How many times do we have people sitting there trying to figure out who should be on the interview team? What are the questions they should be asking? How do I then assess the information they brought in some sort of simplified way so that everybody has a even playing card to look at. Those are problems AI can now solve. So scheduling is the root issue, but we can actually go at it deeper now and provide intelligence and insight that allows it to be an even better process.
Yep.
To me, that's the exciting piece.
No one seems to want to stay in their lane these days. Today's chatbot is tomorrow's ATS. Today's job
There are
board.
no lanes.
Job board
I
is
know, look at me, I'm like,
tomorrow's
lanes?
scheduling solution, etc. How do you guys look at that from a competitive standpoint, from a product perspective? I know Winston is a product that you've released lately or recently. How do you think about it competitively when it seems like every month there's a new ATS that wasn't an ATS before, but everyone's trying to be everything to everybody? How do you look at the competitive landscape from that lens?
That's such a look. It's a great question. Let me tell you what I think. Well, one, if they're walking out today having a new ATS, we'd tell you, well, that was so 10 years ago.
Yeah,
that was a mistake. We're already past that. Yeah, I think competitively, the challenge here is focusing on the use cases that the tech is trying to solve, rather than trying to define or to overscope what something's going to deliver. A great example. We know this. If everybody's going to raise their hand today inside that conference hall and say, what is your biggest challenge, for example, with HCMs, right? What are they going to say? They're going to say, well, they try and do everything. Nobody gets the right investment into any particular component of the product, whether it be
nothing well.
And they do nothing well, right? So we all know that's the case.
Yeah.
Why did we end up there? Well, there's a lot of reasons, right? It has to do with how CFOs want to buy, the idea that I want to have a simplified tech stack, all of those reasons. But we know from watching that's a mistake. It's a mistake to try and do everything and do nothing well. So from our perspective, and as we look out there into the competitive framework, we say, listen, there are two ways to approach this. There is end-to-end hiring solutions built for hiring use cases. We think we're the only ones out there. I can have that conversation at a whole nother time. And then there are best in breed point solutions that can be in space, right? Like maybe I have a really great video interviewing component that can be added on or tapped on or et cetera. I think our approach is to look at this and say, you can be an HCM and try and hit the full suite end to end. You can be a hiring end-to-end platform and then understand how you're going to approach that from a very specific use case perspective to say, how do I look at 4 big decisions that have to get made, right? Who do I need to hire? What type of skills do I need, right? Who am I going to bring in to assess? Who am I going to then decide is the right choice? And then how am I going to get them onboarded into the deal, right? If we can handle that, we do it well. We focus in on the people who are working in that space.
All right, we will end it there. Allyn, thanks for hanging out with us. And this has been the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm Joel Cheeseman. He's Chad Sowash. And this has been the Sessions AI Frontline Series. We out.
We out.